Hey, what's up everybody? MashCorp's here, another video MOC review. This time with Hemlock, Being of Wrath. Now, this guy is relatively new. I built him maybe a month ago. Yeah, about a month ago. A little bit less. Any case, built him about a month ago, give or take. And he is my second Bionicle character who has a majority, pretty much entirety, other than the feet, system build. The other one being Greed, who's sort of in the same vein. They're the same sort of general character, or not character, same general like species maybe. It's something that I want to get into at a later point when I build more of these guys, which I would like to do. Yeah, at the moment I only have him, and technically I don't even have Vx built because I actually had to temporarily take him apart to get access to some of the pieces that were in him, which surprised me because I didn't think he had that many pieces that were that valuable. I forget what I got from him, but I have them all back now, so I should be able to put that guy together. So sadly I do not have a comparison with him. But when I was building this guy, as you can tell, he's built out of majority, or built entirely pretty much, again, out of system, but out of Ninjago pieces from the new Ninjago line. I don't know what this subset's called. It's the one with the ghosts. Because I really like this color scheme, this like spring green, I think is the official name, and then the Metru blue. It works really well, and then I mixed some black in there, and I tried to keep it to pretty much that. There's like a little bit of gunmetal and some other kind of grays in there, but for the most part it's green and blue and black. So I'm very happy with that. But when I was building him, he unknowingly was, or would turn out to be, the largest Bionicle MOC I have made. I thought I still have together. I probably made something bigger than him. But in terms of what I still have together, he's the largest. The second largest, or the formerly largest, was Godfather, who, as you can see, the camera doesn't necessarily, it kind of shows it. He's closer and the angle's weird. But as you can see, Godfather is still only maybe comes up to his eye line. So it's a pretty sizable difference in size. Haha, that's a pun. Alright, so let's actually get into the build. As with many of my MOCs, I'm going to tear this guy in half, especially considering his size. Wait. There we go. Put that to the side. Alright, so the feet, like I said, that's the only non-system part of him. You can see they're just the basic CCBS feet. I don't know what these originally came on. They got claws here, with some little details back here, and then like a little, just a heel bit. And then I have a tightener on here because he would like fall over all the time, because this ball joint, I feel like the new CCBS ball joints aren't as tight as the old ones, and I'll cover that in a different video on my updates to all of the Bionicle 2015 sets, because I have those, and I've kind of like, I'm not going to say turn them into MOCs, but I've changed them to my liking so that there's something I feel comfortable displaying in my collection, or just on a shelf or something. It mostly involved removing the gearboxes and fixing some posability and some aesthetic details that I didn't like. So yeah, its feet, it's got rubber thing, bridge covers. They're simple, and they for what they are. The lower leg was kind of like a slapdash sort of assembly in terms of how I just threw what's in it together, but it ended up looking really good. I really like how this piece sort of slopes in. It lines up really well with the upper thigh and that shape, and then this part that comes out. The angles here, how it all angles down. I actually flipped this piece. Originally it was up there, but I liked it better with it angled down here. There's a little flap on the front that I usually just keep at sort of that angle to sort of fill up his shins, because they are pretty thin with this extender. They kind of, I think they look fine from a distance, but I don't know, it's still kind of a thin look. The back, I really like the back. It kind of has all the shapes and the curves here kind of look like muscles. And if they were muscles, they're very inaccurate muscles. I understand that, or at least to a human. But I mean, these guys aren't human, so I'm fine with the look kind of being abstract, but I like how it is. We've got ratchet joints. The majority of this guy's build is these ratchet joints. There's only 4 ball joints, 6 if you count his neck, but those are mixel joints. There's only 4 ball joints on him, and then everything else are these clicky joints. So rotate, bend. Yeah, I usually keep them at like a little bit of a bend here, but they look good lined up like this. So yeah, upper thigh, just some sloped pieces, some side armor there. There's a hip flap. You can see I put a lot of I tried to put as much green as possible in here. I ended up cutting down on the green a lot as I was building this guy. At first I tried to like really make it an even split, but then I turned it more to an accent color more than anything. I'm just glad I didn't have like a ton of black on this guy, because I build too many MOCs that are majority black. Yeah, so you can see how that looks. This area looks okay. I'm just gonna say okay. It could look better, but it could look worse. And it's his backside, you don't see a terrible amount of that usually, so I'm okay with it. Back, more slope pieces, and then just a flat piece here to sort of just smooth that out. It's got the hip armor, which was actually an exact piece from one of the ghost sets. The giant mech used this is hip armor too, so I just repurposed that. Now it's on a hinge here, and then it also swivels, so if you, like, say, pose his leg forward like that, it can swivel and kind of stay in line with it. You can kind of see. Oh, it's also very fragile. It's probably the most fragile part of this guy. Those are very often popping off. So yeah, and then a ratchet joint. I guess you could call them Lego Knights joints or Exoforce joints, but one of those is used in the waist. Alright, so moving on to the upper body. There's the other half of it. You got these 2 little things here which can move, but they're not supposed to move. Running theme. But I like keep them down. They whoa, helps thin that out. Here I really like the chest design with this like circle piece in the middle, and then these parts kind of staggering off to the side. Kind of has a samurai look, which was, a carryover from part of the sets that these guys are built out of. Specifically, I should probably mention the sets I got these parts from were the Ninjago Ghosts Mech Battle, the Ninjago Moro Dragon, and a few from that little soup cart from Wu's Dragon, also from Ninjago. Wu's Dragon is being used for something else, the dragon itself, but then that little cart I used like a few of the very tiny pieces. Probably the most notable are these piston pieces in the back. But yeah, anyways, I really like how this looks. It's got the circle and then just a good look. I'd like to do something more similar up here, but I don't know. I think smoothing it out looks good, and it also lines up really well with this upper shoulder armor, so that's why I'm not messing with it too much. And then here also how it like cuts in to kind of create like a V kind of shape, like a V-neck shirt or just anything in armor. Looks good. Also kind of works with how his chin goes in there when he's looking down on people, which he would because he's huge. His character is arguably supposed to be huger than his figure even represents. So yeah. On the back, I really like how I did this back section. As you can see, it's sort of like staggered. Ooh, arm. The arm joints are annoyingly loose because they're on these pieces, which, like I said earlier, I think are looser than normal. And I might like nail polish them just to get it tighter. But sorry, beside the case. I like how I staggered these and then put the green part in there. I think that looks really, really good, building like the spine with like the energy kind of coming up through it. Because just like on Vix, if you notice, I never did a review of Vix, but if you notice on Vix, he has this like trans bright green that goes through his whole body, and that's supposed to be a theme of what his power and his energy comes from. And this guy has a similar look. So yeah, I really like how that looks. And then the 2 like pistons, they're actually piston pieces, but these are more like smokestacks or something like that. They're surprisingly stable. I expect them to pop off a lot, especially when I actually transported this guy from college back to here and then back again, or from here to college and then back here, because I built him over Thanksgiving break. Whoa, see, look at how weak this arm is. I mean, look, I understand this is a heavy arm, as you'll see, but this is like really bad. Anyways, whole nother rant. But yeah, I like how this looks, and then I especially like this little flap goes here. I like how that folds in and then creates this shape. Sides are pretty simple, so you can see just slant pieces and then brings it in. I spent a lot of time on this guy's torso trying to get it right. His original one, the torso came like really far out, and I didn't like that. But I'm very happy with how this one finally turned out. Alright, so now I'm going to tear this arm off. Just slide it off this pin. As you can see also, inverted shoulders, because that's basically a norm for me now. On the arm, huge cow catcher pieces. This is really why I wanted that Ninjago mech set, is because I saw these cow catcher pieces as shoulder armor. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I wanted it on the set. Like, that was a cool set to have. But then I also really like on this set they were like this, and the arm kind of down like this. But I actually like it better angled up. It looks more like a samurai if it's like that. But this, I think, just aesthetically looks better in terms of using the piece. So yeah, looks really good. I thought about like detailing this, but it just got too busy and kind of looked like awkward and chunky, and yeah, I didn't like that. So yeah, but because something I went with for this guy was a very smooth look. There's very few exposed studs. There's only a couple on his thighs, none on his lower legs, none on his torso. Actually, the only ones are right here and on the back, and that bothers me. I think, oh, you know what, I actually think I might have pieces that I could fix that with. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, I could do that. Cool. Sorry, getting sidetracked here. Closer here. That focus is not good. I'm not quite sure how to fix that. Well, yeah, oh well. Yeah, so these are the arms. They come in, like they start up here, go in, and then again, overall just have a really smooth section. These pieces can technically, like that piece right there, can technically hinge out, but it doesn't. It's all stuck in there, but if I was to remove the pieces around it, yeah, it could hinge out if it wanted. Elbows are probably my least favorite part of him, because his hand and his lower arm are one piece. The way I had to angle this is I had to make the decision to put the like rotation here, but not up here, so it can't rotate. Like this part up here can't rotate like that. It can bend, of course, and then rotate. But I was annoyed with that. I had to make that decision. I thought about changing his hands, but I feel if I brought his hands out, it would look too awkward, because his hands are already huge. And if I bring them out more, it's going to look really strange, so I keep it like that. Lower arm, pretty simple. Got a little spike there. Curve pieces, curves in here. This thumb design was a pain. I spent so long on trying to figure out how to get this thumb attached here and have it still look good, and I think it only looks okay now. It is really far away from the hand, which creates the effect that his hand is huge, huger than it already is. Yeah, but so I spent a lot of time, and this is the final design. It's okay. It's okay. Okay with it. Lower hand, a little accent here on the knuckle, and then of course the like longer extended finger pieces that you see a lot that I have on my bigger MOCs. And lastly, there we go, put on a mixel joint here, is the head. I'm actually really happy with how the head turned out. There was a lot of things I wanted to do with it, like I wanted to create this slant and use the red eyes, but I also wanted the horns, but I also wanted the wings. And there's a lot of things, and I think they all came together and actually look really good. I really like the shape on the back of the head here, how it comes around. It could maybe slant in more here, but I like the flat look. Put that together. It's a really simple build. You can kind of tell how that's all put together. And yeah, he uses the red eyes, which I thought maybe look weird because they're this like very stark motto red in comparison to the like more subdued tones of everything else, but I think it really stands out and works. Alright, now reassembling this guy. He has two major weapons, and for sake of time, I'm just going to put one in each. On his hands stand, please. There we go. Underneath his hand, you can clip in this thing sort of extends out. I think it looks really cool. There you can see it. Sort of extends out, creates this like semicircle of energy. And I definitely like how that looks. I just threw I had a bunch of these, like the pieces that I use. I'm not really sure what to call them, but like the pieces that like take the bricks like that, and then they just bring them out. My hands look really fat there. Ugh. Anyways, I had a bunch of those, so I made this like semicircle piece, and I'm very happy with how that looks. And the other major one is his sword. Again, very simple. Just got these two pieces. Actually, after I built this, I saw this design elsewhere. I'm like, I'm not copying it. I came up with this on my own. But it is a pretty common thing, so then this person, excuse the dogs barking. The handle, I'd like to make this black. That kind of bothers me. Otherwise, it looks good. Has another tiny sword at the end here, and then 2 dots there. And that just clips into a little section on the inside of his hand. He can hold it fine. So yeah, that is Hemlock. For my biggest MOC ever, I'm pretty happy with him. Not that my biggest MOC ever has to be my best MOC, but he's definitely up there as a really, really solid character. I'm very happy with how he turned out. I went into it kind of like maybe expecting more than I thought I might be able to do, but I was able to do everything I wanted, really, and even better than I was expecting. So he's definitely one of my favorite creations now, and one of my favorite builds. I had a lot of fun building this guy over the course of a little bit under a week. So yeah, stick Relic in here real quick. See if he'll fit in there. You can see the size comparison here. He's like bending down a little, and he still only comes up to his breastplate. So yeah, he's a big guy. And I think in like story wise, he'd probably be more up here size wise, like probably people coming up, average person, which Relic is pretty average size, coming up to maybe about his like upper ab section. So yeah, this is Mash Corps, and I'll see you guys next time.